And David Paulin, just literally, I'm so thrilled, so grateful that we could take the time to get connected and kind of put all the stuff that's happening in our lives aside for the moment and just be here with each other to really hear your story and hear about this amazing project that you've got, which is, of course, Dome Lombok. David Paulin, thanks for taking the time. So glad to be connected.
Thank you for connecting.
Such a pleasure, man. Such a pleasure. I'm really looking forward to, well, really a few things on this call. Definitely looking forward to hearing your story, a little bit about the heart of the man who is responsible for the vision of this amazing project, and not only the vision of it, but the realization of it, because this is happening. And I was in Lombok last week, and I sat on the roof of this dome with this magnificent view, and it's amazing. And I know there's a much greater vision, and that the project has a much greater purpose to it. So definitely hearing more about the dome specifically, and why you'd even want to do that in the first place. So once again, thanks for taking the time, and excited to really hear this whole story.
Yeah.
Right on. And you know what? Maybe that's a good place to start. I definitely want to jump straight into hearing a bit more about you and your heart and your story and how you came to be doing this work. But maybe let's start in a nutshell with why domes, why Lombok, why this project. What is it? How did it come about? I mean, that's probably 5 questions in one. But you can give me an overview of the project and how that came to be.
Yeah. I mean, why domes and why Lombok?
Yeah.
I mean, Lombok was an area where I had a friend that invited me to Lombok.
What is the project? What is Dome Lombok? What are you actually creating out there?
Dome Lombok, what we're creating is, I mean, the dream vision is, of course, it's an off-grid community. It's an off-grid resort concept. And the core concept that we want to inspire people to step out of, a possible way to step out of this society and be able to step in the future of how we should be living. Wow. So this is basically a test ground where we can actually test how this is possible. And by doing this in Lombok, which is an area where things are happening everywhere in Lombok, so it was a good spot to start this journey on. Right. And the domes, of course, it's a technology that I think is the simplest and the most easiest way to build your structure. It makes perfect sense to do that. So that's why we choose to further develop that technology. Right on. And then, of course, we stepped into the permaculture, the sustainable living. And so basically what we're going to create and our main vision is to find land. I mean, I will have this land as a test ground, and we want to invite people to become a part of the project, to invest, just to be there for a month and to see how this new life is. And also as an investment, because what I see now, you always need money to be able to start projects. So you have to combine the business part and the dream or the hippie part of the project.
You've brought up so much in that I want to ask you about. We'll definitely come back to the investment part and who it's going to be for and what the opportunities are there. I definitely want to hear about that. Also, definitely want to hear about, more detail about the actual domes and how they come together and what that looks like. Definitely want to get your story, but you mentioned something really interesting at the start of that, which was you're talking about how this is how we should be living, because how society is and how our culture is right now is not healthy and not really serving humanity moving forwards. What's up with that? Well, it's not so bad, is it? We live in our cities and our suburbs, and what are you talking about, man? What's going on?
What's going on? I mean, it's we know for sure that it's not gonna last if we still continue this thing, and we can for sure see that people are not enjoying life all the time. And I mean, this just makes perfect sense. I mean, we need to go off the grid. We need to find a way to live outside this society that just, I mean, it gives just money that flows around, and it feels like it's a made up world that we need to step away from.
What's so wrong with this made up world? I'm being devil's advocate here, but I'm giving you a chance to go for it.
Of course. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, it's so many good things as well, like new technology. And I mean, I think it's just, I mean, it's like building up a company. It's really complicated and it's really hard to, and then in the end, when you see all the problems, you see all what's happening, then you get to, yeah, this is it. That's the problem. That's the problem. So what we want to try to create is take the best of what's come up from this society, but also step back and really take what we forgot. And we need to live now, and we need to take away that stress of just being part of a society where just money goes round and you're quite stuck, honestly.
Do you think a lot of people feel trapped or feel stuck in society as it is?
Yeah, I think so. And they don't really know what it is. I mean, a lot of people are good at following, so they're maintaining this rhythm.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely not a person that's like this kind of rhythm in this society. So I wanted to create something that's completely how I want to live.
Yeah, nice. So what's the vision for, I mean, the David Paulin vision for life as it could be? And you know, obviously Domes is playing a part of that. But if you look at, you know, how people are living in society now, and you know, like you said, they're kind of trapped in that. They're chasing money, trying to buy more stuff, trying to feel fulfilled and find happiness somehow in an unnatural kind of way of living. What do you see as the alternative? I
mean, the alternative is what we want to show, of course, and it's basically first how you live, how you can construct your house, and minimize the impact of the environment, and then of course you need to eat healthy food. Yeah. So it makes perfect sense to grow your own food, and then permaculture, and that's all these new technologies with aquaponics or hydroponics or all these new technologies that we need to, and it's proven that it's so much more effective, and it takes so much energy to produce what we basically need. And yeah, we need a shelter, and we need to eat, and then we need to enjoy ourselves. And that's also why Lombok came up, because it's a fantastic surf spot, or it's good for going out and fish, or it's definitely different kind of lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely, very different. I want to just quickly take a moment to just define a few terms, because you've mentioned permaculture, aquaponics, and hydroponics, which are all interesting words. And permaculture means permanent agriculture, right? So it's applied to
and also permaculture,
like monoculture crops, which is not permanent, it's not sustainable, it's not going to actually be going to work moving forwards. But permaculture is more just how nature grows in jungles and forests, and it's a more natural way of growing food, right? And of course, hydroponics is growing plants in water, right? And they just take their nutrition from the sun and stuff that you put in the water. And then aquaponics, as I understand it, is the
fish,
the ecology between fish and plants, right? So you're growing plants in water, but fish are feeding the plants, and the plants are feeding the fish, and they create their own little ecology that produces food in a very efficient way as well.
Exactly.
So awesome. And filters the water and does a whole bunch of other stuff for a human ecology, for a place that's beautiful, a human habitat. So all that's built into the project, into the domes that you're doing.
Exactly. That's what we want to show. I mean, we want to show that people, when they stay on this resort, that they actually learn, and they can go and see the aquaponic system. They can see how fast it grows, and they can. So we want to become a living learning center as well. Yeah. That's a part of the vision. Absolutely.
It's something so
it's beautiful. I mean, that's how you want to live. You want to be able to go out and pick your own food, and you want to just makes sense.
Absolutely. Isn't there something so satisfying about eating food that you grew?
Absolutely.
When you taste that. I remember when the kids first picked the first cherry tomatoes, and this is the best tomato ever, right?
Yes. You don't need much more than that after that. So. Yeah,
so true. So true. Now, the domes themselves, these structures, they're homes that you talk about, you're building, and that we're already building, and there's more to build. You kind of imagine, I was talking to Mum and Dad are over from Australia, they're visiting in Bali now, And I was explaining it to Mum, and she said, "Oh, it sounds like an igloo." And I kind of thought about it and went, you know, those guys up in the far extreme harsh conditions of the north, and they've just got ice to build with. They're building these perfect structures, perfectly round, but totally solid, able to stand the most extreme weather conditions on the planet by miles, and be totally safe and cozy and warm and protected inside these dome structures. And you're building them exactly the same as the Inuits built, with they're building blocks of ice to build their domes, and you've got bags of compressed earth to build domes, right?
And that's where it comes from, this technology. And that's the architect Nader Khalil who invented this. And he was doing skyscrapes, was a big architect. Yeah. And then he found out that it's impossible to continue like this. So he took 5 years in meditating and learning of different cultures and how they did it before. And he found out that this technology is the absolute best technology to make a house from least materials, but maximum space. And the shapes of an egg, it's impossible to crush it. So that's it makes sense.
Perfect. So the structures themselves, I mean, we're in the tropics here and we get some pretty extreme weather conditions too. And the domes that you're building are gonna handle everything from earthquakes to hurricanes to, God forbid, tsunamis and volcanoes. And I mean, you name it. We've got it all here in the tropics, right?
Exactly. It's going to hold for any kind of disasters.
Yeah, wow. And that's due to, I mean, the construction model, but also the shape of it. Rather than building concrete boxes, you're building earth domes.
Yes, and you don't need any rebars or anything to hold it up. So it's completely self-standing.
The other thing I should point out too, that I want to kind of comment on, when I went over to Lombok and saw your project, I sat with Sunny, your project manager, met with him, and we sat up on the roof of this dome and had a beautiful conversation as the sun was setting. And we're looking out over this magnificent big plain and the valley, and there's a whole virgin coconut palm tree forest right there, and we're looking at the distant mountains and volcanoes and islands, and there's coral seas here with beautiful white sandy beaches, and it's just the whole scene was just exquisite. The sun setting down over there, and we're on the side of this hill, sitting on top of this dome made of earth, going, it's just magical, right? It's so beautiful. And the domes themselves, and the kind of point I want to make, these aren't like some, mud brick, rustic kind of, they are schmick. I mean, these are beautiful, architecturally designed, they're places you want to be. I walk inside and the walls are smooth and they're beautiful earthy colors, and it's a really, special feeling to be inside one of these things.
Yes.
How did you get them to be so beautiful and the finishing on it? And I know you've got other businesses in Sweden where you're working with this technology of making.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tell me about that, because I'm fascinated.
That was our. We really, really wanted these domes to look luxurious. We really wanted to be able to attract people that are not already falling in love in the shapes. So we need to really step up and do this perfect.
Yeah.
And that's my other businesses that I have here in Sweden is specialized on just the earth plasters and lime plasters as a decorative surface. So this is my dream project, to be able to do my own home and take all the specialties that I have from my background and really put it to make this dome look beautiful. And that's what we're doing. And it's basically it's a lime coating that we press. It's based from Morocco, and they've been doing this for thousands of years, so it's nothing new. And when I came to Lombok, I found the same kind of lime coating that they do. They burn it just around the corner.
Huh.
And they had this technology that they pressed it. So there was one guy coming up and just, David, I think this is what you want. He was one of the older builders in the village, and he was starting to polish this lime coating until it became shiny. And I said, yes, this is exactly. And said, yeah, this is what we've been doing 100 years. But then cement came into the picture, and it goes faster, easier, and yeah, but this holds forever if you do it right.
Wow. So what's the benefit of this lime coating over cement?
I mean, it's much more flexible, and is much more. I mean, cement is not good for environments, and too much cement is not good.
What's up with cement?
It's a lot of energy to produce cement. Instead of lime, it takes 800 degrees to heat it up. And then, of course, it breathes. It's the same clay, so the inside climate becomes much more better. It sucks in moisture when you want to have a nice feeling inside, and it takes out if it's too dry. So basically, it makes the whole building breathe. So yeah, that's and of course, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's natural.
It really is beautiful, and to touch it, it's beautiful. And to be in there, I mean, that was my experience. It was hot outside. And we walked in and went, oh, it's lovely. It's not like a concrete box. You go in a box of concrete sitting in the sun, and it's hot outside. Yeah. Man, it's hot inside. And there's no escaping that. We walked into the
It's
garden.
also the thickness about the walls. And also what we add into the mix. So now we add the volcano rocks.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Combined with the earth, so it's not completely earth. So it's a combination of volcanic rock, which is a lot of air inside it. So it becomes really good insulation value, the U value, and then we mix it with the lime, and then we put it in the bags and stamp it.
Wow. So that dome that's built, your first dome that's there now, that has the volcanic rock in the wall.
Part of it has. So we've been doing different tests of different mixtures to really come up with the best solution. So this house has been standing for 2 years, and we've been building it out, making it bigger. In the beginning, it was just one dome that we just wanted to see, okay, how it's going to hold for 2 years. So we let it be for 2 years until we start again. And it holds up really good.
That volcanic basalt, very, very special stone. It's paramagnetic, and it's got some very, very interesting properties. It's what here on Bali, they build all their temples out of it. And every house basically has got one of these small temples. And that's a big part of the reason they call this the island of the gods. But when people come here, they feel this, what is it? And it's all these shrines and temples all over the place. Not the god that they're praying to, but the actual temple itself, the qualities of that stone. So building that into the walls of your house, I mean, it's something very, very special that you're creating here. And there's different people I could potentially introduce you to who can actually test the energies of a space. If you're interested in that, it could be quite
cool. It's really, we already have made some calculations, and only by using the volcanic rock in the bags instead of only soil, it becomes 4 times better U value. So the insulation value, you can call it.
Wow. Well, that's cool, man. And I was speaking to Sunny when I was over there, project manager, and he said he's doing a lot of the design work as well. And he said, when I started designing these things, like an egg, right? And there it was. And he said, now we've got, 3-story ones with mezzanine levels and spiral staircases and outdoor verandas. And it's amazing, right? What you can do with this basic shape, this basic primal structure.
Yes. And it really makes you think out of the box. That was really hard at the beginning. It's like, wow, how do I really make this dome? And you have to completely change your way of thinking. I think he really liked that, the challenge.
Yeah.
And he's been a fantastic person and fantastic worker. Yes.
Right. And I met Christian as well, and we had a chance to have a chat yesterday. And fantastic. Yeah. So it's a real credit to you. You've got an amazing team around you of people doing, really bringing their heart to this, their heart and soul, and really pouring themselves into it. This beautiful project. So I definitely want to hear more about you, but I'm hooked on the project now, so we'll keep going with that. Now we're there, and you've got the side of a hill. So what's the vision for what else are you building? What's the master plan?
The master play, we're going to build maybe around 18 domes and different shapes and styles. And then, of course, it's going to be a pool in the front. It's going to be a quite big restaurant. We're also going to have a co-working space so people can come that So one of our investors are starting up a co-working concept that they are launching together with us. And that's going to be, so Dome Lombok is going to be a place where you can go and actually do work as well. So it's a lot of expats that works with a computer nowadays, and it's a fantastic place to be inspired, and you can go surfing in the days, but they have a good internet connection, and so hopefully Dome is going to be that spot.
Wow.
And then of course this is going to be a 4-star resort. We need to have massage studios, and we need to have we want to have yoga facilities, and everything, and of course the permaculture gardens. And the aquaponics systems, and
Nice. Yeah, Sunday showed me where you're going to put the yoga chalet up on the hill there, overlooking
up on the hill. Yes,
beautiful, great location for that. And then of course you mentioned that you're doing courses too, so training, not just for people who want to come and work or come and stay or come and have a holiday, but also people who want to learn about building domes or aquaponics, or all these permaculture and all these different kind of things that you're talking about.
Exactly, yeah. So that's also been in the vision from the beginning, to be able to host workshops.
Yeah.
I
love how much you've invested in yourself in this to actually learn this stuff and master this, and then the fact that you're building it so other people can experience it, but then not just stopping there, but actually paying it forward and going, if you want to learn how to do this, how to create these ways of living for yourself, for your family, and pay it forward to the people that you care about. It's beautiful, David. It's a real credit to you. It really is.
Fantastic.
So actually, that's probably a good kind of transition point to have a look at who is this guy who's got this ambitious project on Lombok and doing this amazing things. And, probably a little bit of it. We know you've got a couple of companies. You're in Stockholm now. I'm over in Bali. You've got a couple of companies there. And I guess, what happens to a good, well-mannered, well-educated, well-behaved Swedish guy who suddenly goes, you know what, I've had enough of this. I'm going to go and build domes on Lombok of all the crazy things that he could do. How did that
happen?
Yeah, how did that happen?
It wasn't like a quick transaction. It was just of feeling that this wasn't really enough for me, or I didn't really enjoy my life as it was, and the companies that I've been building up is always the same, and the clients you meet is always the same kind of that in their bubble and not really get the whole picture of where we have to go. So the dream has always been to be able to do something that I have full 100% control over, and instead of just doing stuff for other people that they wanted to have. So this is basically my dream project, to be able to show how I want to build a house, or how I want to inspire people to live.
This is your legacy for humanity.
Yes, exactly.
Check this out. This is what's possible. And what was it like for you? I mean, was there a time when you got your job, you got your your different things that you're doing back there, and I guess when you kind of realize that what you're doing isn't working.
Yeah, I mean it's basically it's so easy now with all the information from the internet, and which is both good and bad, but a lot of things are good that you can inspire people. So I of course got inspired by seeing Nader Khalil's video on how to do the earth homes, and then it just made complete sense for me. I watched his videos several times, and also the permaculture videos and all these Jeff Lawton, all these guys has inspired me to go this path.
And you've got, tell me about home and family. You got a couple of kids there now and a wife?
Yes, I have a wife. We've been together since I was 16 years, so it's 16 years now. I'm a guy that sticks to my projects and sticks to my friends and and my family. We just got 2 kids, quite close to each other. They're 2 years old, and the other one is 3.5. And after we lived in the city, I'm born in the city, so I'm a city boy from the beginning. But when I started to realize that I wanted to change, that was exactly the moment where I sold my apartment. It was a nice apartment in the center of town, and the price had just been rising. And I wanted to do something good with the money, so I invested it in Lombok, and then we moved out to the countryside, to a little bit cheaper and easier house and living.
So tell me, here's what I'm getting. If I asked Tammy, if I said, what was it like? What was life like? What was David like before he took the decision to sell the apartment, before he got on this crazy path of doing these crazy things in the tropics?
I would say it was a lot easier.
What would she tell me?
I mean, she would tell me it was maybe easier before, but I think she can see that I'm much more happier now. But it's been a complicated journey to try to get out this society and really, because everything is new for you. Everything is a new challenge, and it's a long path. And it's down and up. But she's definitely backing me up. Absolutely. And she really wants to live this life together with me in the future. It's so I have the full support.
Nice. So you say it's not without its challenges, and I certainly agree. But do you reckon it's worth it?
Of course. I mean, it's a greater purpose. So I mean, every time you feel, wow, this is too much. Yeah. You can always get back and see, okay, but this is actually, you have to do it. I mean, it's. If we don't do it, who else? So, and then that gives you a lot of energy to keep on going.
What would you
and then say? I'm a guy that never gives up. So I'm always finding solutions. So I'm best actually if problems comes up. I'm pretty good at finding solution and goes around it. And so the goal is there, but you always have to be flexible.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I get that. One of my mentors said, never give up on your goal, just change your strategy. Right?
Exactly.
We just keep going. Yeah, totally. So tell me, what would you say to someone who's looking at their life? They're looking at their society. They're looking at their community. They're going, this is sick. This isn't going to work. This is not fulfilling my soul with joy. This is not, what's the point of this? What would you say to them?
Wow. I mean, I would say to them...
and the reason I ask...
Sell everything and buy a dome. No.
But there's a lot of people feeling like that, right? It's like it's super common now. The people that I'm connecting with, I'm fed up. And, people
Absolutely.
trying all sorts of crazy things.
I mean, what you do, you need to commit. So if you really want to change, you have to commit to change. But, I mean, for the very start, I hope we can inspire them if they want to come to us to see this. Because so many people are skeptical before they realize when they are on site. Yeah. So that's basically the first, is to really get them coming and be inspired. And if they really, really want to commit and change, then, of course, it's investing in this project and get more out of it. Be able to live there and really, and also benefit from its success, and hopefully it's going to be good both economically and spiritually.
Yeah, I really feel for your heart for people and your heart for Earth when you speak of this. It's there's such a passion and such a purpose to this for you.
Absolutely,
and it can be scary to follow that, right? Your mind can get in the way and go, don't do that. It's not smart at all. What are you thinking? Right?
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to share about you and kind of your story and what's brought you to this point before I kind of shift gears again and jump back onto the project?
No, I think it's, it's so much to say. So, but I think you're doing a good job. I'm just asking questions.
Great job. But tell me one more. Tell me one of those. Every now and then in life, we get these moments where we get an opportunity to walk through a door and see where it takes us, or to stay in the box we're in. And I know you've had lots of those moments to bring you to this point, but is there anything stand out where you go, that day or that conversation or that thought or that moment when selling your apartment in Stockholm, for sure, that was a big one, just taking that decision.
Yeah, I think basically that was the big step to be able to do it financially, and So I don't have a real moment where it just clicked open. But definitely that, and when I came to Lombok to see the land, and then you always get this vision, like, wow, yeah, this is, you can see all the dream, the vision in front of you, and it all makes sense.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let's flick back to the project for a little bit, and Sana and the team as well, because you've got quite a cool team on board, right? So we mentioned Sana, your project.
Absolutely.
Mentioned Christian Yeran, the model, ridiculously good marketing guy.
Looking there, yes.
And he's got both of them, such beautiful men with beautiful hearts, and really committed to the vision, committed to the project. And I've had opportunity to speak with both of them. It's been fantastic. Who else you got on the team?
I mean, we have one of my partners here in Sweden. His name is Martin. He's a French that he came knocking my door 7 years ago when he came to Sweden. He also found a Swedish girl. That's why he asked for work. I was working with my father at that time. We had this construction company together.
Yep.
And he basically jumped straight in, and we started. That was basically the same time when I bought the land, and I explained him my vision. And since then, he's also been stuck together with me and this vision. So he's also been investing time and money and energy into this to be able to make this happen as well. So basically, these four, it's Sanne, Christian, and Martin, or these three people who, and of course, Rahmat. He's my very good friend and a local connection in the village and in Lombok.
Okay.
He also believes in this this project, and that's for me. I always have to connect with people in the heart to see that they are not signing contracts or. But if you know that they are good people, then you can trust them for 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
Then everything else just works out, and that's how it's been doing since we started it.
I'm sure it's an absolute testament to you and your heart that you bring to it, the kind of caliber of people that you're attracting.
And you can really see that when you have this vision, that people just start coming up and opportunities start to come up that you haven't really. You didn't see that happening. Same as Sanne just coming up from we're doing a job in Stockholm. He was one of working in that yoga studio, and we were doing a job for the yoga owner of the yoga studio. And then we have this gallery in Stockholm that we do a lot of works in the gallery. And he said, "Yeah, can I come and just see what you guys are doing, and I can help you out?" And then we just started to talk, and I was explaining about the project, and he showed me pictures of his 3D drawings, and that his secret dream was to be able to go somewhere in Asia or to build a resort.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is...
Excuse me, that's what I'm doing.
This is meant to be, this is what I'm doing. And he was like completely shocked, and like, wow, this cannot be true. Yeah. This cannot happen. And me and Christian were just about to send out an email that we were searching for someone that can live in Lombok and do this project on site, and then just a week before, Sanne pops up. Okay. So he sent his CV again, and we were looking at it, have several meetings, and it's just been a rocket since that day. And he is investing himself 110% into the projects. I'm amazed every day, and really blessed working with him.
Yeah, well, I really enjoyed our time together. But isn't it crazy how, we make all these plans and we think we're so clever in our head, and it's kind of linear, it's kind of electric, it's kind of like we're working it all out. But when you've got some passion and purpose to what you do, it's like there's a gravity to it. It just comes in, and it doesn't make any sense at all. And you look at this and go, how could this, we could never have planned this. We were going to send the email next week, and the guy's already here. We haven't even sent the email yet.
Exactly.
And he's thinking the same thing, because he's got a purpose, he's got a passion that's being pulling together. It's like, who works this? Who organizes all this, right?
Probably the universe.
I don't pretend to understand it, but we see it happening all the time. And with the people that I'm speaking to, it's amazing. When someone makes a decision to go, I'm not flapping around with my life anymore, I'm going to do this thing that's on my heart to do, and they take the steps to do that. They start heading in that direction. How the universe just conspires to support them with that.
Exactly.
And not that it's without challenges, because it's you know, you get in the way and there's things going on. But anyway.
As long as you go through the challenges, it's always going to get you to the goal. That's what I believe, and I think it's happening. I've seen it happen to me all the time, so that's also why I'm continuing and know for sure it's going to work out.
Cool. So I'm going to kind of shift gear again. So for anybody who's kind of listening to this, and some of this resonates, and they can feel their heart for this, and they can feel their own. You know, probably for most people listening to this, there's going to be a lot of joy in their life already. There's a lot of cool things happening, but there's a lot in their life that they're still dissatisfied with, and a lot that they're just going, there's got to be a better way. You know, it's hard to really have a really massive positive environmental impact in a structure like a city or a suburb. It's not set up sustainably from the start. So you can do a whole bunch of stuff. And this is what I've kind of been figuring out. And all these people that I've been speaking to, I thought we were going to be talking about energy efficient light bulbs and appliances and, you know, water saving shower heads and this kind of stuff. And you go, well, that's great stuff. But it's like someone who's grossly overweight going, I'm just going to just have like a Diet Coke and a 6-pack of donuts instead of the whole dozen. It's like, it seems like a step in the right direction, but at the end of the day, it's not actually going to get it.
Quick, small fix.
There's no,
I get you. I really think it's you have to step out completely and rebuild something completely new.
Yeah,
I really think so.
For anyone who kind of gets that and they're going, you know what, I've taken the steps that I can take here, and now I'm looking for what's the next step, what's the next level, and they're hearing about these domes. You know, and they're fascinated to check it out. What's the opportunity right now with Dome for anybody to get involved? What can we do? What can I do?
I mean, you can apply for a workshop. We're going to start putting out workshops. That's the first step, of course. A big step would be investing and become a bigger part that will really change their lives. And then the third step, of course, come to the project when it's finished.
Cool. There's kind of 3 opportunities. Just come and have a visit, come and have a holiday, come and hang out, right? Instead of going to a hotel or a resort somewhere else, come and stay somewhere that's unique and beautiful and have an experience there.
Yeah.
Come and do some training, come and do a course, come and learn about some of the things that we've been talking about, permaculture, aquaponics, you know, all this kind of stuff in the shower.
Exactly.
Or actually invest in the project.
Yeah.
Perfect. So what's the opportunity for an investor then? What's that kind of look like? How's that work? Set me through. I
mean, we have a different kind of models, starting for 30,000 euros up to 9,000 or even more. So I mean, you invest, become a part owner of it. What you do in Indonesia, that you have lease agreements. That's the only way to be able to. So we have an Indonesian company that basically owns this land, and we lease this. So people become an owner of 50 years or 25 years or longer, and they get 1 month on site. We also thinking of in the future that you can actually buy your house fully. But then this first resort now is you get 50% of the rent out revenues back in your pockets the days when you're not there. So that becomes a smart investment in something that is for real. It's something that lives. I mean, you can see it, you can touch it, you can live in it instead of just putting money on a fund that you just see
pieces of paper
and money driving around. So that's basically what we want to promote and present.
All right. So as an investor, then it sounds like it's almost like a timeshare arrangement, I guess. So
it's some kind of timeshare. I don't really like the name timeshare because it has a bad influence and been so cheeky projects have been going on in Spain or so basically it's not you don't own 1 week, you own the whole dome.
Okay.
So it's kind of a timeshare or a community rather than people buying themselves into 1 week or 2 weeks or so.
I mean, the timeshare model, I don't know, in Spain, lots of holiday destinations, certainly on the Gold Coast as well, it's got a bad rap all over the place. And mostly not because the model's no good, because it's a fantastic model. It really works for people.
It is.
Just the marketing and the sales tactics that was used to promote that. I don't know if it's the same in Europe, but in Australia it was like super hard to sell, and it was awful how they were manipulating people who shouldn't have been into it.
We won't like
that's like yuck, right? But the model itself is actually, really good for the right people.
It is brilliant, yeah.
Okay, so it's like that, but it's different. And what
it's
I'm hearing,
like that, but a little bit different, yeah.
What I'm hearing is, and I totally get that, in Indonesia, land ownership is an interesting thing for foreigners. And, we've heard tons of horror stories about people losing their investments and all kinds of awful things because they haven't understood the law and they haven't done it properly. And you guys have got a PTA, which is an Indonesian company with foreign ownership that has the land, and that's the right way to do it, right? So anybody that's buying into that, it's done properly and their investment's safe, and so that's a lot of mine. That was one of the first things.
That's so important if you take in people that you don't, investor. I mean, you can juggle it with your money, but if you're selling something, it has to be 100% bulletproof.
So then basically I could come and buy a dome, and that leaves me the right to stay there for a month. And then the other 11 months it's rented out, and your team will manage that, take care of all the facilities and the marketing of that. I don't need to do anything.
Exactly.
You wear all the costs for the maintenance and everything, and then we split the rental that we earn from it 50-50.
Exactly.
So if I wanted to stay for more than a month, could I come and pay rent? Half my rent.
You just pay the half. Yeah, you just pay the half.
Perfect. And if I didn't want to stay at all, if I just wanted to put the money in and get the return, I can do that as well?
Exactly, yeah. Then you will get 100% profit on that month that you're not there.
That's really, really flexible then, what I can do with it.
Yeah.
Nice. And who would that be ideal for? I mean, we've already talked about these digital nomads, people who can...
Digital nomads, yes.
Anywhere, want to go surfing and, jump online.
I think it's for everyone. We had moms with 4 kids living themselves that been investing. We have older eco warriors, and we have different and investor group, and so I think it's really appealing to a lot of people.
Yeah, nice.
We're super happy.
Nice. Well, I certainly hope so, and it's such a fabulous. The concept is amazing, and then your implementation of it and how you're rolling it out, and from what I've seen already of what's actually built, it's just stunning. It really is just exquisite. So, man, anything else? I mean, I'm feeling pretty cool, pretty complete, but anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up?
I think it feels good. I think it was a good, much better than the last time.
we had a few false starts for sure. But it's like I said, great again to be able to take this time to connect and really get to the heart of what you're about, and also what Dome Lombok is all about. So thank you, brother, for taking this time, and
thank you, brother, for finding us and giving us this opportunity to highlight what we're doing. You're doing a fantastic job.
Yeah, I've had the big job and the great joy to check out a lot of projects around Indonesia over the last few months. A lot of projects to come down to, less than a dozen now, well under a dozen, that I'm saying these are the ones that are legit. These are no compromise eco, with good people, with good hearts, doing it for the right reasons, with solid investment. And you're right there, man. You're up there with the best of them. It's beautiful. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We feel blessed.
All right, man. Well, till we see you here in Sweden, and please come visit us in Bali, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you in Lombok as well.
Yes, I would say I will hold it when I come to Lombok.
Yeah, do that definitely. Till then, blessings from Bali. We'll see you soon.
Okay, blessings. Thank you.
Thanks,
Wow.
man. Bye for now.